Welcome to Black Love Matters, where this serves as a therapy session for figuring out adulthood,
loving each other,
and finding our inner Barack and Michelle.
Or Jay-Z and Beyonce, or Eric Holder and Sharon Malone. Come on. How did I forget about them? How did I go this long in this podcast and not bring up Eric Holder and Sharon Malone? How did I? You know who they are, right?
You slipping on your... I know who the Eric Holder is. That's Obama's boy.
Okay. He has a little bit more criteria than that, but I'll go into more detail. So they have been married for over 20 years. And along with being a dedicated doctor, Dr. Sharon Malone is also a mother of three and wife to the very first African-American Attorney General, Eric Holder.
Obama's boy.
You stupid. He the freaking Attorney General. I don't know if he necessarily Obama's boy. He anything but. He the America's attorney.
He looked like Obama's homeboy to me.
They kind of look like they from the same crew a little bit, don't they?
Mm-hmm. They kind of favor. Are they cousins?
A little bit. But as I said, they've been married for over 20-something years. And Dr. Sharon Malone is a force to be reckoned with in her own right. She's an obstetrician and a gynecologist. She's delivered more than 500 babies in the D.C. area alone.
Damn.
So, a.k.a. Bad Bitch Contest, she's in first place.
Hey.
I found this article online where they were, where Dr. Malone, I'm calling Dr. Malone, honey, was giving an interview and talking about her relationship. And these are some of the questions that stuck out to me. So, it was actually at essence.com. So the first one was, how did you two meet? And she said, I first met Eric exactly 20 years ago at a fundraiser right here in D.C. In a year and a half and a few months later, we were married. I just had moved here and stayed at my residency. I was 30 years old and he was 38. So there was an advantage of him being a little older and seeing that there was some potential there. She tried him. She said, he got a little bit of potential. I'm going to go with him. This nigga about to be the future Attorney General. So at 38, I can only imagine the type of shit he doing. And she said he got a little bit of potential.
A little bit. A little something.
You get a little bit of that black bourgeois. We were at a fundraising event in D.C. He ain't see it was at Big Ben's Chili Bowl.
No.
On U Street. They ain't say that. The next question is, you decided not to take your husband's last name. Why? Dr. Malone said, a lot of it had to do with where I was professionally. I was already Dr. Malone when we got married. There was never a thought about it. Part of it is paying homage to my parents. There had never been a Dr. Malone in our family. Eric was never pressed about it. In fact, it seems like our family and friends have made more of a problem than we have. Ooh, shade read. What you think about that, Nero? Taking names, and are you offended? Is the expectation that I take your name? What's your thoughts on that?
No, I'm not offended about it. It's not an expectation of you taking my name. I know, once you, decide to go through this whole education process, and if you do decide to go, if and when you decide to, finish up this PhD, and you do earn a PhD, and you become Dr. Nyambi before I put the ring on it, I'm not pressed.
Yeah. You like Eric Holder, huh?
Yeah. Because the thing is, I already got you. A last name don't mean shit to me. I think that's like one of the constructs of, the American dream.
That's playing house again.
Yeah.
That's the idea. That's wanting the wedding and wanting the last name and wanting the ring, but not wanting the marriage.
Exactly. Like, I want you. I don't care
what we call you.
Yeah. I don't care if you had my last name or not.
Come on.
So I'm with it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, when it comes to like academics and things of that sort, it does take a lot, and it does take a lot to do that, especially when you have already created a name for yourself in your field, and then you got to go back around and like almost recreate that name for yourself because you didn't change the name, and if you got publications and all that stuff, it makes it even harder.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, so I'm not pressed.
I don't think so either. I think it does go along with that line for folks who, if you're distracted by a name change or yo boo, bro sis cuss too. So, whoever this is, if they pressed about a name change, it's something else you need to examine. So if it's a deal breaker, if they don't take your last name, I think it's a problem. I even think about the LGBTQ community friends I have. A lot of times they'll be both do hyphenated names, or we got friends who created a whole different last name.
last names and everything.
So I think it's way too many creative endeavors to go down this road than to kind of get stuck in, one way. But I do know a lot of Negroes, though, who be pressed on this idea of having my name, and their name ain't worth shit. You so pressed on me taking your name, but you ain't about doing nothing, right?
Right.
Different episode. Anyway, who is you?
I'm Nero.
And I'm Nyambi.
And this is episode 44.
What?
Happy Friday, y'all.
This is crazy.
Man, we are 6 episodes away from 50.
This is crazy.
Man, we need to throw a celebration or something.
You know, the week was short, right?
Yeah, it was a short week.
It was a hard one. Damn, it felt long. For it to be a short week, thinking in and out, easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. Not so much, sir. Not so much, sir.
So yeah, let's go on here and get this going. Be sure to leave a 5-star, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and Stitcher. Follow us on all forms of social media at Black Love Matters. Remember, that's Black with no K. What you got, baby?
So my check-in, I don't have that much, but I've been doing a lot of reflection, and y'all know I done hit this milestone birthday, and I said I was going to come with y'all with kind of my thoughts on it. You know, I told I was going to take about a month or so to do so. So I still got a couple more weeks before I got to kind of come to y'all with the full report. But I've really been marinating on this idea of purpose and purpose in life. And as y'all know, I'm going through some things where I'm doing a career change, embracing my creativity, and it's all new. It's all new to me. And I have moments where I'm just so encouraged and motivated. And then I also have moments where I'm just terrified, right? And I want to just go back in my shell, go back to what I used to do, and just call it a day there, right?
Right.
So then I got to thinking, I believe in being in meditation and prayer and just praying and thinking about, what is my purpose and what am I moving forward? And something that came to me is this idea that purpose is not static. So I think before I had this idea that you come in the world and this is your purpose, you do it, and then that's okay, then you leave. But in actuality, that's not how your purpose really manifests itself. So the thing is, what happens if you fulfill a purpose at 30 or 40? Then what? You don't do nothing for the rest of your life?
Right.
It's not that. It's just really this idea of purpose being dynamic. And I think now I'm at the place that I'm in now is really processing it and trying to be in the presence of, what is that purpose and being okay with it looking differently. And knowing that whatever my purpose is, it's going to grow and transform with me as I went through. I think before I did not think of it that way at all. I thought you came in this world, this is what you're set to do, you do it well, and you keep moving forward. And I think that's been blown to kind of smithereens for me. Yeah. And I'm really kind of biting and navigating through that. And also knowing that, so then I had to step back a moment to say, so am I associating purpose with being known for it? So again, I'm coming from this academic mind frame in that the folks in the field are like thought leaders and they have all these publications and they're well known for that. Then I had to kind of, like I said, step back and say, that's not even what purpose is either. So your purpose is not necessarily something you're going to be known to do, but it's something that's intrinsically within you that you have to move forward in doing that. So I'm kind of meshing through and navigating again this idea of purpose and really stepping out and owning that is dynamic, and not only owning it, believing it and moving through it, that is dynamic. So this is new for me. Okay. A lot of things, in your head, right? I know these things in my head, but in action is two damn different things. Now I'm at the point where I'm actually putting it into action, practicing what you're preaching. And that's the hard part. All these things I know in my head, and of course, and things change and shift. Yeah, that's all cute to say until the shit hitting the fan. And you have to do it, right?
What Mike Tyson say? Everyone got a plan until you get punched in the face.
Yes. Come on. And so, how are you actualizing, this plan and moving forward in that? You got any thoughts on purpose, Nero? Or am I?
No, I really think, you are definitely going on this journey, metamorphosis and changing.
And transformation.
And transformation. You're going through a lot of
Shout
that
out
stuff.
To y'all know who y'all are.
Y'all know who y'all are. I think you're going through a lot of that. And the thing is, it's hard for people to know or figure out what to do, like in the meantime, as we work through getting there. And I think that's more or less what's happening to you. It's like, all right, I'm ready to transform.
I'm a butterfly.
I'm a butterfly, but
wait,
the universe,
I'm still a caterpillar.
But the universe is like, no, ho, you still a caterpillar.
But I'm a butterfly.
No.
I feel like a butterfly.
You ain't ready to be a butterfly yet.
I would like to.
So I think that's more or less it's the things that you're going through your head, like the things of like the thoughts and feelings, emotions, like, all right, I'm over this shit.
Yes.
Versus what's actually going on, and knowing that sometimes you can't rush the process, and also you got to respect the process, because if you don't, it will disrespect your ass.
Ooh, if you do not respect the process, it will disrespect you. You better say a word on that. So I think that's again some of the things that I've I've really come face to face with again. I always knew these things in my head, but really putting it in action in the last few days, few weeks, and going with that.
Mm-hmm.
On a lighter note, did y'all see B and Mary Jane? What is going on? Why? I'm gonna just jump straight to the chase. Why did Papa Mary Jane say he wanted a divorce? Where the hell that come from?
He hurt.
Yeah, but a divorce? You I'm choked on this. How you decide you want a divorce in 24 hours and you've been married for 40 years?
They do it. He did it.
Hey.
He did it. He a man and he has has the right to make a decision.
And come on. But you know who I'm low-key rooting for in all of this shit?
I know who you are.
The mama. And she's not my favorite character at all because she's very funny acting. But the idea, sis was with this man for 40 years, bear 2 of his children, had 3 children, and never was happy or in love.
I cannot.
And the Academy Award goes to you, sis. It's your time, Ma. It's your time to shine there. Because I knew it was something when he said he wanted a divorce. She was like, a divorce?
A divorce?
Well,
if
that's what you think.
If that's
she
what you
ain't
want.
going in. Like, I really thought she was going to go in. Because in her head, she probably was thinking like, shit, I need a break anyway. Because, oh boy, Cat Daddy talking about come to New Orleans with me. Why is New Orleans the new regenerate for black people? You notice that?
Yeah.
On TV shows, whenever they're trying to reinvent themselves, go somewhere, I'm going to New Orleans. Why is that? Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
And then here come the Cat Daddy. Patrick finally had a conversation with his father because, you know, he saying that they both got this addiction and they navigating with that. And Patrick gonna come back and talk to his daddy. And right after the mama said, I ain't going to New Orleans with your old ass, who he got in the back room? He got Barbara in the back room.
Barbara?
Getting it in.
Woman to woman.
T-minus 30 minutes after the conversation.
Shit,
It did
5 minutes.
go try to prove itself talking about you don't know the hurt and pain I'm going through. This is the first time in my life I really had to realize she wasn't going to be there. Hell, you didn't realize that's your 70th birthday? What? He acting like he 10. He acting like he a young thing. Talking about I had to really come to the realization.
Yeah, he won't be able to find won't be able to have real love.
So you're taking up for this shit.
I'm just saying he won't be able to have real love. So now
he didn't even take.
He didn't went on Team Lawrence.
He didn't even take the Nia inaugural 3 days.
Well, sometimes you just don't.
I guess you adjusted with age, so 3 hours.
Yeah. He took the Team Lawrence approach.
Oh God.
I can't have her. All right, I'm just gonna run through everybody, every woman I get through.
Run through the home, honey.
Mm-hmm.
It does not make any sense. What else going on with Mary? Ain't no too much going on with Mary Jane.
No, not this episode.
What else was she? I remember it ended. Oh yes, she did. Remember she went to the fertility clinic.
Oh yeah, old dude was like kill them babies.
Kill the embryos.
Yeah, kill them embryos.
That hit me in the throat a little bit too, because for some reason I thought he was the guy to be like, if you wouldn't have them babies, you can have them babies.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember with his ex-wife, he agreed to be like, I thought he was going to be like, I'll be a surrogate or a sperm donor for you. Uh-huh. But he said, not with this crazy hoe.
Give me my sperm back, hoe.
I thought they moved really, really quick on that, though.
Yeah, me too.
Like, you know, not that I didn't think they would do it, but I thought we would at least, because I know they were talking about marriage. So I thought they would at least be married and then a week later go ahead and do that. But not to be married or have plans necessarily or did they have plans to get married?
They had something. They thought they wasn't committed, but you know, Mary Jane was like, I'm just pushing. I'm pushing this dude. I really don't like him.
Yeah.
Let me not be like my mama.
It's just safe.
Yeah.
And then Mary Jane tried to pull a Molly and go in on her mama. And talking about why you leave, and then the mama gonna flip on her. He was like, I stayed with your daddy for the same reason that you left to be with Justin.
Ooh.
Bitch, shut up. Sit down. Be humble.
That's a word.
Ain't that? Sit down, be humble.
Mm-hmm.
Sit down. Be humble. Mary couldn't do nothing but open up.
I feel bad for that daddy, though.
Oh, my God. Why? He had 40 years.
This man, he has never felt
Who gonna
enough.
tell Niecy?
I don't know who gonna tell Niecy.
No, go ahead. Why you
this man ain't never felt enough. He done took care of your bastard child.
What?
Cause you know she said I was in the bind, and I know he was head over heels for me, child.
Bye.
So I told him I was pregnant, and he's like, "I'll be that kid's baby daddy." And then you ain't want to be with him. You ain't want nothing from his ass. You was just in the bind. You was using him, and abused his ass. Now look at the daddy.
Anywho,
heartbroken.
He
is a loyal ass nigga. Good man.
Okay.
He worked.
Get out your feelings.
He worked for that. He worked for them children.
Yeah.
He provided.
But what I was saying, what you were saying last night was that the tables was turned. I said, and damn life, the tables is always turned. How many women y'all know taking care of these men's babies? The tables have turned. And it didn't happen 1 in 100 and y'all niggas is mad?
Hey.
Get over it.
No. You can't do that, though.
Why?
You can't be like, now it's y'all turns, niggas. Y'all get to get cheated on. I
didn't say get cheated on, but it's this idea. You keep saying that he took care of another man's child. Women do it all the time.
Okay, but give that man some time to process. All because it has happened to women all these years doesn't mean that he can't have the opportunity to process and to mourn the loss of what he's been going through.
72 hours. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, so Mary Jane. So hopefully she don't go too crazy on Eric. But Eric, no, his name ain't Eric. Is that his name in real life?
I don't know.
Justin. Who is Eric?
I don't know.
Right, Eric Holder. I was just reading. But Justin with the funny eyes, he done went ghost on her. So I took that as a red flag. When she said her family was coming in town, all of a sudden he had to stay a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. You have $30 million. You can't fly in for a day. See, that's why she ain't wanted to know. Because it's black when we start counting your coins. You have $30 million and you can't come see me for 24 hours from Kansas to New York City.
He wasn't in Kansas.
Where the fuck was he?
Paris somewhere.
Hell, even better. I know they got direct flights from Paris to New York. You couldn't come for a day?
Hell, if you miss one flight, that's the end of the day.
Okay. You have $30 million.
Okay.
You can even charter a jet.
No, I'm not wasting no money to see your parents.
Oh, because why? You're not Come on. Continue down the path. Why aren't you wasting money to come see my parents?
Because I can meet them at another time.
That's lies. Now you on that light eye shit.
Because
it's not a priority. Because it's not.
I can meet them at another time.
It's not a priority. And then lastly, what is it? Carla and her boo, the Latin lover. They gonna come up, honey. They own a deluxe apartment in the sky. And I'm here for every moment of it. But I think what's happening is Carla's not going to end up taking over being the lead. She might go and actually be the EP for him.
Yeah, I think so.
But I think them being EP and being lovers, that ain't going. She can't be the coach, lover, homie, loving friend. I don't think that's going to work.
Sure, right.
I think it's going to be cute for like 3 months. Mm-hmm. And then it's not going to be cute no more. For this level, I think we're going to talk about the Black Love Dot too. The second episode, but I think it's for that reason. Like she gonna give too much bossy realness that the lines are gonna be blurred too much. But anyway, that's all I got. Anything else about being Mary Jane?
No, that's it.
All right, Nero.
First thing first, I just gotta give a big shout out to the 3 women that's making fucking history in the U.S. Open.
Ooh.
For the first time in U.S. history, 3 black women will play in the semifinals.
Ooh, in the U.S. Open?
Yes. Nice. Shout out to all that black girl magic.
Hold on, I know too. Who's the third one?
You got Venus.
Yes.
Sloane.
Sloane. Yeah, I know Sloane.
And Madison Keys.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so
they killing it.
They out there. That's black girl magic for real.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so shout out to them doing that. Other than that, man, like I'm so overclass.
Oh, it just started.
I know, but the thing is, I just noticed that the class that I'm taking is a blended class between with undergrads and grad students in it. Jesus. And like the babies are just so dumb.
What you mean?
They just be. The way they come into class, they just be looking like deers in headlights. The professor be laid out like very specific rules, like do this.
Yes.
Like for example, everyone log onto Twitter and tweet something using this hashtag.
Yes.
Do we need to create a new Twitter account for this?
What?
Log onto Twitter and tweet something using this hashtag.
Yes.
So like stuff like that, and I'm like, good Lord. Yeah, and this painful. Is sort of it's very painful. So I'm overclass. I don't know how much longer I can do this. I got 16 more weeks of this shit.
You silly.
I know next week we sort of have like a debate, and I don't know how that's gonna work because I'm like it's like me and another grad student in this class, and the rest is like undergrads. Like this is not what I signed up for.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be something else. So I'm either gonna try to find another class. I got like one or 2 more days. Before I can change classes, or I'm going to talk to the professor because this ain't going to work.
Yeah.
This is not cool. I'm not happy with it.
Yeah.
So that's all I got going on.
Mm-hmm.
You got some pillows up?
Of course. So with the pillow talk, y'all, I love this damn show. American motherfucking Horror Stories with an S. Y'all know I like to add stories at the end of it, right? S. That's how you know you're from the Midwest because we say Kmart's, Walmart's. American Horror Stories.
Americans.
America's Horror Stories. No, it's the last word. So American Horror Stories came out later this week. What y'all been sleeping on? Y'all have to start watching it. So for the folks who don't know, American Horror Story is a show that come on FX, and it's in this seventh? It's in the 7th season.
Yeah, it's the 7th season.
The creator is Ryan fucking Murphy's with an S. And he's fucking brilliant, okay? He's the one that's behind Nip and Tuck, which is the shit. He's behind what is it? The World versus OJ? No, what is it? Is it The World versus?
No, it's OJ versus the U.S. or something.
Yeah, OJ versus the U.S.
OJ story.
The OJ story. He also did Scream Queens. Like he done did some really good shit. And he's amazing. So the thought of a more American Horror Story, or the way that it's set up, is that every season there's a new horror story that takes place. So the first season was about a haunted house. The second one was about an asylum. And what's unique is that each of these seasons are compact stories within themselves. So it's not like a traditional series where all the seasons kind of connect. So, with Shondaland, all the Scandal episodes interconnect. More explicitly, I should say. But in Ryan Murphy, the individual seasons are their own, like, I don't want to say movie, but almost like show. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, it's like their own series.
Yeah, their own series.
Yeah.
But what's unique about it is a lot of times there's the same characters. So I know Evan Peters, Sarah Paulson, Jessica Lange was on it. So every season they will be on it, but they'll be playing different characters.
So the same actors, different characters.
Yeah, same actors, but different characters based on the season. And now he's been doing it so long that he's trying to kind of interweave the seasons a little bit, not directly, but like through like relatives. So you'll see this person in this season is connected to a relative in another season, or they worked with someone. Like it's almost, I forgot what that's called in literature, when they kind of like passing the night, like two ships passing in the night.
Yeah,
like almost like 6 degrees of separation type thing.
Every season like reference each other. So every season, even though it's like different times, different generations.
Yes, it's all that. So it takes place in the 50s and the 1900s. It's all over the place.
Yeah, so even though it takes place in all that, every season is interconnected with each season somehow, some way. So whether if it's the house that they're staying in, or a specific character, or a specific location in the
serial
season,
killer,
all that is interconnected, and I think that's what makes the episode so dope.
Yeah, and he don't hold back. So you gonna see fucking sucking. Everything he does is on 10. And as I said, each season has a theme. And this season is cult. CULT. So it's going to be turned up. And for the first 10 seconds of it being on, I was triggered. Okay? So they began, and Niram, you going to jump in with me and talk to me on this?
So let me just put it like this. Like the episode started off with a montage of like Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton with their 2016 presidential election. So, talking about how they gonna run, and you see like people chanting and like everything else going on.
And then the opening scene is these group of folks who are at like the election night, a watch party. And it's a diverse group of people. So you have like this lesbian couple with their son, these Asian folks, like this really, folks that think Hillary's gonna win, right? And so they are. You can see it's basically how you were on election night. So you with your friends and saying, because at first Hillary was ahead.
Yeah.
So Hillary ahead. Oh, he's pulling in. It's all right. I can't believe she won. And then fast forward, flash to this other scene. You have this white boy played by Evan fucking Peters with the S, with blue hair. And when I tell you this white boy is playing the hell.
He played the fuck out of that.
The hell out of this role he is. So he's basically sitting in his mama basement looking at the election night, going back and forth, rooting for Donald Trump. But the T is when Donald Trump is announced as the elected president, at the watch party with the liberal folks, everybody lose their damn mind. First of all, Sarah Paulson plays the fuck out of this too. Even Peters and Sarah Paulson deserves the damn Emmy, okay? Give them their flowers while they're alive. So what's baby girl Sarah do? Remember, she's one part of this lesbian couple with their son named Oz. I don't know why it's named Oz. She just bust out in a woman cry. What was she like now?
You feel like vibrato. That's how it
was.
was.
And everybody was looking at her like, what the fuck is going on with you? And even the son was like, what the hell? Yeah, and she's spinning, we are not gonna be able to stay married. What's going on?
And then the son come, mommy.
I want my mommies to stay married. And everybody's going ham on each other. Then the Asian couples they start cussing each other out because did someone not vote?
The wife.
The white Asian.
voted.
Yeah, the Asian wife was like, I feel horrible. And he was like, why? We did everything to do. She's like, I didn't vote today. And he was like, what the fuck? He lost all his accent. He's like, it's the fucking reason because of you why she ain't win the presidency. What the fuck you mean you didn't vote? This is so stupid. Right. I was like, what?
You motherfuckers protesting. And that's what the fuck happened. Motherfuckers is protesting. I'm not voting for either one of their ass. And look what the fuck we got.
Come on.
And you got the other people who voted for...
Yeah, and then the lesbian couple, like, because the woman is ticky. Like, you can tell she has a history of mental trauma, right? So this sets her off on the edge. Before we get there, though, I want to do the flip side of the election night. So when Trump won, Evan Peters, I think his name is Kai, that we talked about with the blue hair, he got so damn happy he started fucking the TV. When he was humping the like, what is that white boy thing? He just started
like, yeah, fuck yeah, America. Let me fuck this TV. Just dry humping the TV.
Then he went and got some Cheetos and blended it up
and put it on his face.
I said, Ryan Murphy is crazy. Ryan Murphy is crazy. I'm trying to see what else did we miss. Oh, you know what we missed in that opening scene? This is how much shit goes on in Ryan Murphy. That's why when you was talking about power and too much going on, I love a show extra. When you watch Ryan Murphy, you might be scared or freaked out, but one thing you cannot say is that you're not entertained. Mm-hmm. You will be entertained from when them credits come on to those credits go off. But the opening scene was like this young couple who is in the park, and they were about to have sex, and the woman was like, someone's watching us. And he was like, nobody watching us. Give me them pennies. And then here come this clown murder and killed their ass.
Twisted motherfucking clown.
Come on. And fucked her ass up. See, that you got to always follow that woman intuition.
And Twisty came from the carnival.
Yeah, so he's from another
what's the name?
Season of American Horror Story. But fast forward back to the lesbian couple. In one part of it, she just losing it. So she's talking to her counselor, and she done lost her mind because she, talking about how this election is upping her anxiety and, blah, blah, blah. And then she looks at this thing with all these holes in it. And then she loses her damn mind. You know what? I can relate to sis on this. I don't like little holes either. It makes my skin crawl.
Y'all just read that BuzzFeed articles. Like if this...
What's it called? Tryptomania?
I don't know.
Trypto something?
It's like if this picture freaks you out, you might have some type of phobia.
What it is the fear of tiny holes. And I completely understand. I think what always gets me is a frog. That, it's a certain breed of frogs that they lay their babies on their back, and when the babies come out, they all come out in these little holes. Every time I see that, fucking my skin crawls. And that's what's going on, baby girl. So she's seeing this coral in the doctor's office, and she freaking out of that, and the doctor's like, you need some medication. And then she's like, I don't like to take medication. He was like, well, I don't like to prescribe it, but you need it, sis. Mm-hmm. He was like, you need to do a detox. Stop looking at all this bullshit and moving forward with that. But what got me, and then sis gonna have the nerve to go to the market. Mm-hmm. Ma'am, you are emotionally unstable, and you done made the safest place in the world to white women unsafe now, the market. So she's going down Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, and then all of a sudden she thinks she's safe when she walk in the door, right? She's having this conversation with this young white guy. Looks like he was, I would say, in the army or something, because he like lost a limb or something. Yeah. And he was like, how are you tonight? She's like, well, I'm making it, everything that's happening in the media. And he was like, what do you mean? Great things are happening. Then he put on a Make America Great hat again. Then the bitch was like, I ain't safe here. But then she started, going down the aisles. And I don't know. The thing is, I don't know if she's hallucinating or if this is real. Mm-hmm. But then she starts seeing these clowns. They start coming up. And, she got this fear of clowns. And they chasing her. And they having, it's just a lot of shit that is stirring and going on.
Yeah. So she losing her motherfucking mind.
Yeah.
She got out in that car and ran to a light post.
Because she seen another clown.
So the funny thing is, like, the police, like, we didn't see nothing on the tapes. We just seen you throwing a bunch of bottles.
A bunch of wine, rosé.
Yeah.
At everybody. And she was like, you have to believe me. And then to her boo, did you take your medicine, honey? Mm-mm. You got to take your medicine. You got to hold up on your end of the deal. But low key, I don't trust her wife. Does that make sense?
Why not?
She a little bit too calm. Like, your wife is seeing clowns, scared of holes, throwing rosé bottles, and running to light post. And you like, you got to take your medicine, hold up your side of the deal. Good night. I'm like, what? Like, I feel like she in on it, right? Uh-huh. Like, it's just something that's not sitting right with me. How would you react if I all of a sudden start doing this?
Oh, I said, we got to get your ass somewhere.
Don't you know what I'm saying? Don't we need to get away? Or, they just going on with the average everyday life, right?
Yeah.
So it was just too much. And then after that, they're looking to find a babysitter.
No. Oh. Before you get there, you got to go back to Evan Peters.
Oh, well, go ahead.
So Evan Peters,
who played the hell out of this role,
the Cheeto, the literal Cheeto mask,
Cheeto mask.
So he's going around like doing whatever maggots do. Yeah. After they done won, so he done went to a city council meeting, and they having a meeting about like the local Jewish community center and like how they want to like bring more police there and blah blah blah. And Evan Peters, his character's name is Kai. And he's like he's stating all of these objections about you need to use fear to control people, and how about you have no police there, and they get so fucking afraid that they will give you as much control as you need.
Yes.
To protect them.
Yeah.
So they looking at his ass crazy as hell, and the city council went ahead and passed the bill like, we protecting these people. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yes.
So he walks away and he mumbles something.
Yes.
And the dude was like, "Come again? Excuse me?" And Evan Peters said the most bone-chilling thing you can ever hear. He said, "There's nothing more dangerous than a humiliated man."
Come on. Adjust it. A humiliated white man.
Ooh.
Come on.
And so his ass walk out of there.
Yes.
And he started continuing to do his white boy fuck shit.
Yeah.
So one of the things that he did was he filled a condom full of piss.
Oh my God.
And threw it at a bunch of Mexican workers or whatever.
Oh, my heart broke.
So they went over there and they started beating his ass. And what you can see from the camera is that somebody's recording it. So they just record him getting his ass whooped and not recording like what happens at the beginning. And I feel like this is the same shit that motherfuckers are doing now. With these memes and fake shit, or like how they take pictures and be like, this was from the Antifa.
Yes, this is what they do to create violence.
This is what the Antifa did to us neo-Nazis, and it's like a picture from like something that's unrelated.
Yes.
So I feel like this is more or less what he was going on from there.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
And then after that, so we talked about that crazy boy Kai. He has a sister. Her name is Winter. And she was a volunteer for like the Clinton campaign, and now she's kind of stuck at home with her brother, who she had. I think the relationship's really interesting. They're not quite the Lannister level of kinkiness, but I think it's in the realm of it. It's just a lot of sexual energy for them to be brothers and sisters. I said, is this some Jamie and Cersei shit going on here? That's what they remind me of, Jamie and Cersei. But like I said, it could be there. Stay tuned. It then appears like the siblings, they have some sort of deal or maybe a bet kind of hinging on the election outcome. And since Trump won, she has to kind of go along with what he says. And they did this thing where they like interlocked pinkies with her brother and kind of submitted this idea of radical honesty in this Q&A. And they cut to this interview of Winter, who's interviewing with this lesbian couple, right? To be their nanny. And you can see that it's something about to pop off with either that couple, that boy, but whatever it is, they all want to put this shit together to create ultimate chaos in the city. So they're interviewing this girl, Winter, and asking her things like, what are your views on X, Y, and Z? And it's also kind of answering the questions he's asking her. So he said, what's the thing you hate most in this world? And then you flash forward to her, and then she smiles. I love children. Children are the like, and it's like, oh shit. And then from there, she gets the job, of course, and babysits, and she's doing mean things to this boy. She making him watch. She on like dark web, making him watch killings and
like beheadings and shit like that. Because he's like, he was looking at the comic with Twisty the Cow.
Yeah,
it's like, well, have you ever seen a real dead body? It's like, no. It's like, well, you need to see it so you won't be afraid. It's like, I'm afraid of dead bodies. And it's like, this is why you need to look at it. So.
Yeah, because it helps. It helps with pain. Or no, my thing is, which one is your real mama? and this is the most political little 6-year-old I said. He said, all families are unique and they're both my mommies. She was like, no, but which one came out the vagina? Which vagina did you come out of? Like, she just poking and prodding this boy. And at the end, like, there was this murder across the street at their friend's house. And it was like that Asian couple, actually, that Kai went into a cut crazy. And the little boy was like, I seen some motherfucking clowns go over there and kill it. And then when they're talking about, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's lying. We didn't see anything. And it's kind of set up with this idea of murder-suicide. So when it did the idea of murder-suicide, I'm like, damn, is the motherfucking police in on this shit? Do you know what I'm saying? Because the detective was way too nonchalant. Like, we think it's a murder-suicide. Relax. And it's like, really? But overall, I think the shit was good as hell. So y'all, please, we're going to give y'all an update once a week on this. Like, we just gave a big overview so you can be up to date. But when I tell you American Horror Stories, the shit, it's going to be gory, it's going to be cussing, it's going to be fussing, it's going to make you uncomfortable. But if you want you a real good scripted drama, that's one to watch.
It sure is.
You got anything else, Nero?
I guess the last thing is that Allie, who was Sarah Paulson, at the end of the episode, like she wakes up in the middle of like this cold sweat and she turned over and it was a clown laying next to her instead of her wife.
Come on.
And her ass screaming like a motherfucker.
So this is a lot. So a lot of themes. So we have the cult theme. We have the election theme. We have the idea of phobias. So that main character, she has this fear of small holes, blood, clowns, clothes, like a lot of shit going on. And these are real. Like people really suffer from this stuff. So I can't imagine all this stuff amplified on top of everything. But it was something relieving to see all those white tears. Because I do believe all liberal white women across the country, when Hillary lost, let out a big man cry. Because they could not understand why their sister did not win.
You know why? Because they didn't vote.
Come on. Somebody lying.
Oh, they voted for Trump.
And that's the thing. She done hollered the most, and she voted for Jill Stein. And that's what her wife was like, bitch, you didn't even vote for Hillary. You voted for Jill Stein.
Right.
You the reason.
I thought people was just going to vote for Hillary.
You keep thinking.
Damn you, CNN and everyone else.
Yeah, she said, well, how did they warn us that they were going to announce him as president?
A lot of people thought that too. Like, oh, Hillary got this shit in the bag. And what happened?
I don't want to relive that night. It was too much.
It was, I went to sleep. Because I told Nyambi.
I stayed up.
I said, Nyambi, he going to come back and win.
Yeah.
And it's like, what you mean? I said, we just did a study. I had did like a class project when I was following the elections about the social media signals on, when it comes to Donald Trump versus Hillary. And Donald Trump had bigger signals than Hillary. And you can predict that, by having higher signals, higher like positive sentiment about you, that a person's going to win. And that's what ended up happening. It's crazy.
Come on.
So, like, and compared to everything, like, when it comes to everything with social media, Donald Trump was blowing Hillary out the water. And that's even, like, taking account of every, like, people who was, like, arguing with him or, like, trollers and things of that sort. So when you account for that, like, his social media signal was higher than Hillary's. So it's coming to the fact now that you can start using social media. Like, you can't go and, like, the old way of doing it where they call people or the exit polls, because that doesn't work anymore. Like, you can literally go and look at what people are saying online. So you can find there's a way to like find all the pictures of people that got like I voted stickers and seeing what they said, like I voted for Trump or Trump y'all or some bullshit like that. You can see that, and it had from social media, they had more people saying that they voted for Trump than for Hillary. There was a lot going on. Jesus. What else you got?
So that's all I got of American Horror Story, but I had to just touch base with that. The next thing I found was this article. It says, what it means when a narcissist says, I love you. I was too lit about that. It's written by, I think the name is Athena Staik. I think that's how you say her name. Staik, PhD. And I'm going to just read just a couple lines from it, and then we can kind of just have a conversation on kind of what's your thoughts on this and moving forward. So basically it says, like, when I say I love you, I mean that I love how hard you work to make me feel like I'm your everything, that I am the focus of your life, and that you want me to be happy, and that I'll never be expected to do the same. That's the opening line. Come on. So again, before I go in more detail, this article is about saying like if you're with a narcissist or not. And sometimes how folks are in relationships because they truly love air quotes each other, but because of what they can kind of get from each other. So this idea of codependency and not codependency in a positive way. So it starts off as, dear codependent partner. What I'm about to say is not something I've never said or admit to you, because to do so would end the winner-take-all game that is my main source of pleasure in life. One that effectively keeps you carrying my load in our relationship. And that's the whole point. It says, I love the power that I have to take advantage of your kindness and intentions to be nice, and the pleasure I derive when I feel myself, when make myself feel huge in comparison to you, taking every opportunity to make you feel small and insignificant. I love the feeling it gives me thinking of you as weak, vulnerable, emotionally fluffy, and I love looking down on you for childlike innocent gullibility as a weakness. I love the way I feel knowing that through the use of gaslighting, what you want to discuss or address would never happen, and I love this power to train you to feel crazy, air quotes, for even asking to bring up these issues that don't interest me, effectively ever lowering your expectations of me and what I'm capable of giving you while I'm up mine of you. I love how easy it is to keep your sole focus on alleviating my pain, never yours, and that regardless of what you do, you will never make me feel good enough, loved enough, respected enough, appreciated enough, and so on. Misery loves company. I love you means I love the way I feel when you are with me, more specifically regarding you as a piece of property. I own my possession. I like driving a hot car. I love the extent to which you enhance my status in the eye of others, letting them know that I'm top dog and so on. I love thinking others are jealous of my possession. I love the power that I keep you working hard to prove your love and devotion, wondering what else you need to prove, air quotes, your loyalty. I love you means I love the way I feel when I'm with you, due to how often I hate and look down on others in general. The mirror neurons in my brain keep me constantly experiencing feelings of self-loathing. Thus, I love that I can love myself through you, and also love hating you for my neediness of having to rely on you or anyone for anything. I love that you are there to blame whenever I feel this neediness, feelings of scorn for whom seems to protect me from something I hate to admit, that I feel loyalty dependent on you to feed my sense of superiority, entitlement, and keep my illusion of power in mind. And it goes on, we'll link this, it goes on and on. But at the end it says, in short, when I say I love you, I love the power I have to remain a mystery that you'll never solve because of what you do not know, and refuse to believe that the only one who can win this zero-sum winner takes all game is the one who knows the rules. My sense of power rests in ensuring you'll never succeed in pursuing me to join you in creating a mutually kind relationship, because in my worldview, being vulnerable, emotionally expressive, kind, caring, empathetic, innocence are signs of weakness, proof of inferiority. Thanks, but no thanks. I'm resolved to stay in my winner takes all ground, ever in competition for the prize, gloating in my narcissistic ability to be heartless, callous, cold, calculating, and proud, to ensure my neediness for the sense of superiority isn't hampered, for love limiting your narcissist.
Damn.
That was someone's testimony? And I didn't even read it all, y'all. I just took out kind of pieces of it. So that was someone's testimony in journal. That didn't touch your spirit.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on it? Do you think this, first of all, do you think it's true? Like being with someone who's a narcissist versus not a narcissist? Like narcissism in general.
Yes. I personally have not been in a relationship with a narcissist.
Yeah.
I've had narcissist friends, or used to have narcissist friends.
Yeah.
Because usually I just can't take their ass no more, so I just get rid of them.
Yes.
And I feel, I don't know if we ever covered this, like, I think we have, where, when a narcissist break up with their partner, they still want to be together or like be friends, so they can still have like that sense of power,
that connection,
and that connection over you or their previous partner, versus creating a new person. I mean,
because it take work to break. I shouldn't say to break someone down. It take work to break you down, honey. It take work to break you down.
Yeah. So that's what I have. Like I've never dated a narcissist. Have you? Have you ever felt this way?
No, I don't think I've ever dated a narcissist. I might have been a tinge of a narcissist. Oops.
Yeah, you a Leo.
Well, okay, no, that is not true.
Yes.
No.
Most Leos are narcissists in some way or form.
That's some shit you done made up in your head. Leos
Let me go get
you go get your book, my book actually.
I'm gonna go get the Zodiac book, because I swear it say Leos are narcissists. No,
that's a misconception and a myth about Leos.
That's something a Leo would say.
Focus. But I would say no, I probably tiptoed in a narcissist realm, or narcissism in the realm a little bit. I think I've never been full-fledged, but like the reader was saying, it's used as a protection mechanism. So traditionally, you folks who are narcissists or really engaged in this narcissism, they've been hurt before.
Yeah.
And so it's the way to protect yourself from being hurt. You hurt other people. Hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
And you put, it's just, again, that sense of control and power over what's going on in the situation. But I think like these are major red lights for folks that you see. And also I think when you think of these narcissist people, they're quick, the ones that say, I love you.
They are.
They're going to tell you they love you a lot, but you have to understand what they love means.
They gaslighting the fuck out of you.
They gaslighting you. So what that love means and what the actions, the behavior that follows does not necessarily, they don't align, and just being aware of that. And if you get the wrong person, it's this sense of loyalty that's connected with them. I know what you said. You said you didn't have any romantic relationships like this. You've had friends. How did that go? What do you mean?
You can kind of tell that you in a relation or a friendship with a narcissist because everything kind of revolves around them. I think one of the things that really came up was the whole gaslighting notion, and that you have friends who are like gaslighters, and you just like, what the hell are you doing? And another thing is that they're definitely are users. Where you can have, for example, a potluck, and they were like, "Well, I didn't bring anything," or they only bring, or they have a potluck and like they only eat fish, right? So they'll just bring fish.
What you mean? Two, one piece.
One piece. I brought a slab of salmon. Did you bring enough?
You hear me? A piece of tilapia that's still in a plastic bag.
A single serving of tilapia.
Yeah. You silly.
Damn, I know you the only one that eat fishing over here, but damn, could you at least bring enough for everybody else? No. And it'd be at that point when they're on like stage left. Yeah, stage. You gotta go.
How do you cut a narcissist off then?
Oh, you just don't pick up the phone. You don't.
That make them usually try harder though.
Hey. And that's why iPhone have the function where you can block their phone calls.
See, that take discipline, Nero.
What?
That takes discipline.
Hey, what? To block their number on the iPhone?
Yeah.
That don't take no discipline. That only take is a couple buttons.
Oh, thank you.
I got a couple people blocked in my phone.
I know you do. But again, when I just saw that, I thought that just something that stood out to me, this idea of narcissism and relationship and what a narcissist, what they say and what they mean when they say, I love you. And like I said, they got the reading that stuff. I said, they are reading someone's testimony in journal for filth. I'm also a believer that narcissists breed other narcissists. Yeah. So I believe whoever you did this to, you now created an animal or a monster that's then going to do it to somebody else. And it's just spreading. It's like an STD. Yeah. Narcissism in relationship is like an STD, and it just continues to spread. Because this is how is this how you're supposed to love? Oh, this is how you're supposed to love.
And when I also think that with the advent of social media, Instagram, Snapchat, and all this, we are definitely breeding narcissists from an early age. Can you imagine? Like, I even think about like some of the pictures. Like, I even think about how when we interact with some of our friends' kids, and we bring out the camera or bring out our phone. And they already getting the pose. They already got the smile. Yeah. And like already know how to pose themselves.
Yes. It's that what they doing.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
hilarious. And it's like, you 18 months.
You know how to smile. You know the phone like this means I'm about to take a picture. Yes. Because back in the day, remember them disposable cameras? Because you couldn't afford a real camera. Right. Remember, I used to buy them like 3 packs at CVS. And that's all my friends. I used to carry a camera in my purse and take pictures everywhere. Everywhere. Actually, I still have 2 disposable cameras at my house. Can I get that? Can I get that printed anywhere? Probably. I need to look. I have one that's every time I go home for the last like 6 years, it's been sitting on my desk.
Maybe we should go to Walmart.
I'm scared to see what's on it. Oh. You go to Walmart, they don't have a person. That's the thing. They don't have no people at the photo booth. Walmart do. Ours have a person at the photo booth?
There's a person in the back.
Really? Yeah. I didn't even know we had a film station. Where is that at?
It's in the back in electronics.
Oh, I'm going to go there. Oh, well, I'm going to do it, y'all. Who knows what's on there, though? It at least goes back to undergrad. Mm-hmm. So it's almost 10 or so years old.
But, I think that's more or less what I was getting back to, like the whole social media breaking up narcissists. So it's going to be interesting to see what love and relationships are in the next 20 years.
Oh, it's going to completely flip. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Next. Mm-hmm. Kim and Kanye have a baby in January.
Oh. Congratulations.
Don't do that. We got to have more energy around.
Oh.
No, that's good for them though, right?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Because they're having, she's using a surrogate. Oh. Because, she's had some complications in her previous 2 pregnancies. Like, not little complications either. Like, everybody, I know we tease the Kardashians and all that, but I want to say her complications can be life-threatening.
Well, she had like preeclampsia or something?
No, not
like that?
preeclampsia. It's something with her placenta.
Oh, gestational diabetes?
No, not that. That's dangerous, but not that. But I think it was something, with her placenta, and if the placenta doesn't detach right, a lot of bleeding and all that stuff can happen. But they have a baby that's due in January. And how old are they? They later in life. He about 40, right?
Yeah.
And she 36, and they just started.
Well,
again,
they paying this surrogate $45,000.
That don't seem a lot, do it?
I don't.
The whole
so.
Kim Kardashian, Kanye West baby.
I thought it would be a little bit more.
At least $100K.
So they prohibited from smoking, drinking, doing drugs, all that stuff. Also no hot tubs, no hair dyes, no raw fish.
Yeah, I mean those normal things if you're pregnant that you can't do. But I feel like because it's such a high profile baby, I want at least $100K. Like I want to be able to take a full year, all the time it take me to get pregnant, while I'm pregnant, and I want to take my maternity leave. And plus, you know what? I would take this $45K if they bought me a mommy makeover after. I want bounce back. I was like, Kim, I want the name of your surgeon. I want, what I'm saying? I had to have me a whole package. I'm like, you won't see my face. I won't say nothing, but I need at least $100K in a full mommy makeover and maybe a new house. I keep adding more shit to it.
Yeah, and a new house.
What? That's still not.
I know. Truthfully, I would have thought they at least would have got a meal out of it.
A meal? No, not for sale.
Hell yeah, you are birthing like one of the top 3 famous people.
Three? Yeah. You're stretching.
Right now? Like Kim Kardashian
no.
is probably, yes. No. I would say she's like top 3.
She probably in the top 10, top 20. I won't say top 3.
Well, who's your top 3?
Beyonce, Rumi, Blue Ivy, Sir. That's 4 right there.
That's 4 right there.
Come on. Shut up. Michelle Obama.
I cannot.
Barack Obama. Oprah. Come on. Should I continue? I give her a top 20 though.
Okay.
I give her top 20.
How I went from top 10 to top 20?
I give her top 20.
Okay.
Because you see, I already went down the list. Malia. You want me to continue? Eric Holder.
Okay. Stop it.
I know.
But I would have thought they would have got a meal out of it. Truthfully.
I was thinking 6 figures. But I think congratulations to them, and I think that goes on to this idea of family dynamics and really shifting our view on what makes a family and how do you go about doing it. Even this bravery. Kim. I guess depends on the day if she considers herself a woman of color. She is from Middle Eastern descent, so.
Moving on. What else you got?
I'm not done.
Okay.
But Kanye being a man of color, you don't hear a lot of black people talking about getting surrogates to have a baby or being a surrogate. No. That's the conversation I was going to have. Okay. I think now is more, a money thing, because I don't know how many folks got an extra $50K. $20K, $10K. I don't know if it varies. I don't know if Niram and Naomi got to do it. We only got to pay them $10K. I don't know what it is, but don't have the disposable income to do that. And I'm assuming all the medical bills that go along with it. And also, I think in the community, do you think there's, Naomi don't got no stigma with it, but do you think in the community that there's some stigma around surrogacy and that whole thing?
I think it's all preconceived, and I think it's all internal.
Really?
Yeah, because if you are really going through it and you can't have it and you talking with your family like, I just can't have this baby. Yeah. And they're like, mama, sister, can you be the surrogate?
I didn't even think about mama or sister. I was even thinking about, see, that's my stereotype. Then when I don't even think about family. I think about somebody outside. But why wouldn't you have family or friends?
Exactly. So I don't think there's as much stigma about it when you got people that's been touched by white hands. Yeah. But for like individuals who are like low SEO,
SEC, thank you.
You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I know. Po.
Yeah, po folk. Yeah. They're like, what you having?
And not poor.
Yeah.
Po.
You Republican? What the hell?
Are you Republican? You silly. We got family members who ask if we Republican. I'm like, if you only knew, honey.
Right.
Are you Republican?
Right.
That's what I want to ask them. Perfect. The nuts update in black culture. Gucci Mane, he off probation.
What?
Gucci Mane is winning. I'm happy for him. Are you not? Is it just me?
Gucci Mane having the best life ever.
Isn't he? He done came back. Look what the Lord does. When you are steeped in the reading of the Lord, you drink green juice, you meditate. Look what happens.
I cannot with you.
What do you mean you cannot with me?
You drink green juice, you meditate.
So what happened, y'all, is that, Gucci Mane, he came out of jail and he's supposed to be on probation another 2 years, but they reduced that sentence. So he officially a free man, no probation, nothing on September 19th. And on top of that, his wedding invitations just went out.
Yeah.
And what did they say? The wedding invitations alone was $50,000-$60,000, right? They made a Swarovski, am I saying that right? Very expensive crystals, very expensive cubic zirconia, And he about to have this $1 million wedding to Keisha. That's going to be filmed on BET. Exactly. And I'm sure he getting some coin from that. And he loved Keisha.
He loved the hell
Black
out of her.
love. I think that was one of our first few episodes that we want their type of love. Because she held him down in jail. He done came out, and now it's a wrap.
Look at this flyer.
That ain't a flyer. That's a wedding invitation.
Oh.
Miriam done pulled it up online because he checking for my receipts. And he said, this is a nice flyer.
Damn.
It is it's a, what do you say, like a plate? Like when you win an award, it's not a plate. What is it called when you win a plaque? It looked like a plaque. So imagine getting invited to somebody's wedding and it's a plaque.
God damn.
That's what Gucci
it's
man.
Fly.
No, it's very hood. I don't know. It's not the classiest, but it's got hood rich written all over
It's
it.
Definitely hood rich.
Oh, but I kind of want to go to the wedding.
Me too.
I bet the food gonna be. Could you imagine the music? The music and the food.
Who gonna DJ it?
It doesn't matter. I just want Gucci Man playlist. Just play it from the top of the night to the end of the night. But what I'm gonna say, Gucci Man, keep winning and don't get caught up in no bullshit. Stay tight with your girl Keisha. Fuck them niggas. Some haters coming for you. Because they made like Gucci Man done flip his presence so much. I can't even see the tattoos on his face no more. Did he get them bleached?
I think he got someone removed.
Like I can't even see it no more. Can you?
Well, that's what happens when you get on the green juice diet.
Your skin clear up because they always mean the Charlemagne of God. They talking about he done got skin bleaching. And then his dumb ass talking about, I just went to see a dermatologist. That was hyperpigmentation. I say the dermatologist will speak some truth in your life because I'm going through a little situation on my face and I'm like, I'm gonna have to go see that dermatologist too. Any other thoughts about Gucci Man?
I'm excited. We definitely gonna do.
I'm gonna watch it on TV.
Yeah, we probably gonna do like a review or something about that.
I wish they had a contest on who can get invited.
Because we'll be there.
Should I tweet him with all my followers in my social and be like, could you hold a contest for Black couples to be invited to your wedding?
You gonna tweet them with your 16 followers?
Yes, and then we'll do a short YouTube video on why we should be invited and why we love Black love.
Okay.
And how they epitify Black love. Why are you like they're gonna be together forever? I love it.
I know, right?
Yes. All right.
Much. Shout out to you, Gucci.
Yeah. What else you got going on? Any more pillow talk?
Yeah, we got some other stuff going on. So I don't know. This was kind of like low key in the news. The whole Michael Bennett situation.
Oh, I'll let you explain. I'm triggered emotionally already.
So I guess this was in Las Vegas, and he ended up getting apprehended by the police. And truthfully, it was so low key that I'm still trying to read up on it. Yeah. But he was at the podium a couple nights ago having a conference with the Seahawks. I think better yet, like instead of just talking about that. Y'all go look it up. What I want to get to is that how
did you tell them to go look it up?
Y'all look it up.
Okay, now you don't want professor on them. Read the from the readings I assigned 2 months ago. You should already know what's happening. You gonna link it though?
I'm gonna link it. Right. Y'all go read it. So y'all can talk. Yeah, so y'all can see what it is.
You can talk amongst yourself.
Talk amongst yourself. But what I want to talk about.
Summary it up. What happened though?
Pretty much, he got arrested after the Mayweather fight. He was talking to the police. His video came out. It's like, man, I didn't do anything. And the police was like, shut up, nigga, or something like that.
Come on.
I'm probably over exaggerating like a little bit when you said shut up, nigga, but it was something like that.
Probably not.
So this happened like 2 weeks ago, and like now it's just starting to like blow up. And what I just wanted to bring out of this is how this nigga done got his ducks in a row. Yes. He got a lawyer.
That's what you got to do. And he got coins. Come on.
Exactly. So he already got NFL money.
Yes.
Now he about to get that discrimination money. Mm-hmm. That's what I wanted to talk about, baby. You got anything on this?
So I think the biggest thing here what's been different from what we've seen before. So usually there's kind of a protocol for this. So this happened. Black man is abused by the police officer or someone with authority. It's on social media. It's social media outrage. The police department go back and forth, blah, blah, blah. But I think, like you said, what interacted here was he didn't go directly to the media with this. So he followed the fucking protocol. He swallowed his pride, whatever he had to do. And like you said, he got his ducks in order. Before he even came out on social media, said anything about this, he went to what?
A motherfucking
lawyer. And they lined every step that they took was intentional. And what's interesting about him, he's not playing the short game. He's playing the long fucking game. And I know we be giving athletes a bad rep for chasing up the ball like a dog for the white man, but this is the fuck you're supposed to do as an athlete. This is much bigger than athlete getting, this is about black men. Does that make sense? This is for justice for black men. So I just appreciated that he was willing to hold on to that, which I'm sure was a hurtful, horrible experience, in enough time and hours for him to come and do this.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, he's fighting them exactly where they haven't been fought a lot before, in their fucking pockets. As Beyonce says, the best revenge is your motherfucking paper. And that's what he's going for them now. And the thing is, his stuff was so much in line that ain't no way to poke holes in his story. No. So that's the other aspect of this happen. So usually this happens to a young brown man or woman. They find something about their history or past to poke a hole in it, right? Mind you, that don't mean nothing. I don't care if there was a past dealer, drug dealer, addict. It doesn't matter. The police doesn't have a right to treat people this way. But that's how they poke holes in credibility. But this man, ain't no holes in the credibility. Does that make sense? Because what? He got a lawyer and that shit is tight.
Yeah.
So now what do you do? Now I think, who was it? Skip Bayless? I think they were talking about it at their little round table, and his damn tone changed.
Yeah.
He ain't even know what to say. Except this is fucked up. And the other black men, I don't know what their names were. Mace, you know their names, who were talking with Skip?
Shannon Sharp. I can't remember the other guy.
And they were just saying, like, you know, how frustrating it is to get, it has to get to this point for white men to and white people to realize what's happening, because like we said, this shit been recorded since Rodney King.
Yeah.
And even though it was recorded, it's still saying, well, that's not enough, or you deserved it, X, Y, and Z.
So this is what he said, because he, in his statement, he said, "Dear world, on Saturday, August 26th, I was in Las Vegas to attend the Mayweather McGregor fight."
Meanwhile, this is his lawyer done wrote, honey.
And look, a fight on my day off. So he just want to let you know
Yes.
I was off.
Yes.
After the fight, while heading back to the hotel, several hundreds of people heard what sounded like gunshots. Like many people in the area, I ran away from the sound, looking for safety. Las Vegas police signaled me out and pointed their guns at me for doing nothing more than simply being a black man in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Come on.
A police officer ordered me to get on the ground. As I laid on the ground,
honey. This is statement. Yeah, he gonna say this verbatim every time somebody asks him this. Go ahead.
As I laid on the ground, complying with his commands not to move, he placed his gun near my head and warned me that if I moved, he would blow my fucking head off. Terrified and confused by what was taking place, a second officer came over and forcefully jammed his knee into my back, making it uncomfortable for me to breathe. I hate when they do that shit. I done had a couple knees in my fucking back too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then they cinched the handcuffs on my wrist so tight that my fingers went numb. I done had that shit happen too. I almost said something. The officer's excessive use of force was unbearable. I felt helpless as I laid there on the ground, handcuffed, facing a real life threat of being killed. All I can think is I'm going to die for no other reason than I am a black man and my skin color somehow is a threat. My life flashed before my eyes, and as I thought of my girls, would I ever play with them again, or watch them have kids, or able to kiss my wife again and tell her I love her? Lord.
Jesus.
I kept asking he kept going. He said, I kept asking the officers what I do, reminding them that I had rights and that their duty bound to respect. The officers ignored my pleas and instead told me to shut up, and then took me back to the nearby police car where I sat and felt like an eternity until they apparently realized that I was not a thug, a common criminal, or an ordinary black man, but Michael Bennett, a famous professional football player. After confirming my identity, I was ultimately released without any legitimate justification for the officer's abusive conduct. I've always held a strong conviction that protesting and standing up for justice is just simply the right thing to do. The fact is unequivocally, without question, why before every game I sit during the national anthem. Oh shit, his ass was sitting during the national anthem. Because equality doesn't live in this country, and no matter how much money you make, your job title, or how much you give, when you are seen as a nigga, you will be treated that way. The system failed me, and I can only imagine what Eric Gardner, Michael Brown, Trayvon Martin, Tamir Mice, or Charlena Lyles Phil. Oh. I have retained Oakland civil rights attorney John Burris to investigate and explore all my legal options, including filing a civil rights lawsuit for the violation of my constitutional rights. Sincerely, Michael Bennett.
That's how you do it. Remember, we keep saying you gonna fuck with the wrong nigga at the right time, and they did. Mm-hmm. They did. See, this is not how they want to play this.
No.
They would rather us hooping and hollering and what we gonna do. He simply says, "Please talk to my lawyer. Please talk to my lawyer." He had all the key words into it. Like, it was needed. It was absolutely needed. And I'm happy that he's moving forward with this. And I hope this now sets the precedent. Does that make sense? Like, I hope this now sets the tone. So whenever this happens, I know we protest, we got to continue on, but we need to have them lawsuits lined up.
Yeah.
Just continuously. When they start cutting the fuck crazy, all right. This is what we're going to do. It's a violation of constitutional rights. Because ain't this the bullshit we're talking about with 45 now and Jeff Sessions? How, DAC and all this stuff is unconstitutional? Mm-hmm. What is the treatment we're getting from our law enforcement is unconstitutional too.
It sure is.
So how do we move forward on that? We're going to have to keep y'all updated on that one. It touched my heart, though. I'm glad it's moving forward.
Yeah, me too.
But I think this is the one that done got white people like, shit. Especially, more so I should speak to the folks who are sports fans. Like, I feel like all the dads who be watching ESPN, the Sports Center, when they seen this conversation, what's that white man, Skip Bayless? Yeah. Like, this is the first time I see them fucking speechless. They didn't even know what to say.
Skip didn't know what the fuck to say.
He didn't know what. All he did was turn red and start to stutter and move paper around and talk about how the N word is the most disgusting word in the English language. I was like, well, Skip, I don't know that.
Right.
But okay. But you could tell that he was processing some shit he ain't know he needed to process on air. And I think that's how a lot of white sports fans felt.
Right.
Because they looking for, because usually it's something always to poke a hole in credibility. He was drinking, he was drunk, he was belligerent, he was smoking, he was guns, something.
No.
This man was walking out the damn fight. The only thing was missing was a Bible. A Bible and a check written out for some type of foundation that he was going to deliver.
That he's going to deliver.
Only thing that's missing. This man didn't say he was drunk, under the influence, being disrespectful. Nothing. No, none of that.
I don't care what the fuck you hear say. You hear gunshots, your ass run.
Yeah.
I run.
That's what I'm saying. So this is we'll keep y'all up to date on it. Mm-hmm. Anything else on that?
No. Thoughts and prayers out to him.
Yes, his family.
But he got this shit. The reason why this shit took so long to come out is because he was getting his ducks in order.
Yes.
He was getting
and
his
it's still
lawyers.
not as high key.
He was getting his lawyers together.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't get that white woman.
Come
on. The white woman that's always laying out those other white women.
She do more like what's it called? Not civil. Well, I guess it's a form of civil rights, but she does like sexual assault. What's her name? Gloria.
Yeah.
She lined up.
I'm surprised she didn't get Gloria
just
there
to be on there
with the red dress.
Come on.
Oh, I would have had Gloria as
there. I think her name is Gloria Aldrich or something like that.
Yeah. Let me Google. I would have had Gloria as there.
Yeah, because she's known for getting a coin.
Mm-hmm. So that's what we got going. Are you looking up her name?
Yes.
Her name is Gloria. Gloria something.
Aldred, I think.
Gloria Aldrich.
Absolutely.
Okay. What else we got?
I think we gotta talk a little bit about the Black Love doc.
Okay.
So as always, what we talked about was last week. The Black Love doc is on the OWN network, and it's by two brown filmmakers that are young, brown, and moving fast. And it looks like it's a weekly series. I'm not sure how many weeks it is, but every week they kind of talk about different things that are going on in their life, or in their relationship, or lessons that they learned. And this week was about kind of tipping over hurdles and how they navigated through that. So they talked about things like their first fight and what it was and how they navigated through it, or the idea of them growing up differently, and how do you mesh kind of the two different core values you may have from growing up differently, and the idea of gender roles and the 2nd or 7-year itch and all those types of things. But I thought it was interesting about how they were talking about their first fight. And I think what stood out to me most was when the folks were talking about how they grew up differently. I don't know the name of the girl, but she was just so stuck. Like, so she was with this one guy. He was kind of from the hood. And you played dozens with folks.
Yeah.
He's kind of from that background. I couldn't really tell where she was from, but I'm either getting black bourgeois or Holy Ghost enforcer. That's her background. So, she would ask her cousin things like, how you like this skirt or dress? He'd be like, oh, that's trash. And he'd be like, she like, that hurt my feelings. Why you say that? And he's like, that's just how my family was. Like, straight no chaser. We not gonna lie to you. Like, we gonna tell you the truth. And we doing that to toughen your skin up for the world. And her view was more so like, I appreciate his funniness, his humor, and his sense and all that stuff, but it's different ways to say stuff. But I could not relate to sis at all. Could you relate to her? What's your thoughts on that?
I know why you relate to bruh more.
Why?
Because your family is straight no chaser.
Why you say that?
Uncle Junebug, for starters. Well, Uncle Junebug, when I went there and I was like, he was talking about, Naren, you've been around, you treat my niece good. And I was like, thank you, Uncle Junebug. What you call me, nigga? Uncle Junebug. No, you call me Mr. Junebug. Nigga, you ain't in the family yet.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I can only imagine.
Yes. And then, when everyone was talking about their first fights, too, I thought that was something that was really interesting. And did any of their first fights stick out to you? It was a couple of them couples. Look, this between us. Y'all know in the community. A couple of them couples, I don't know if they're going to make it.
Yeah.
Remember, I think we talked about that with Nia. You be around couples and they be disagreeing. You be like.
And it's in public, too.
And you be like, sis, bruh, cuz, why don't y'all handle that elsewhere? Why don't y'all write some journals, some love notes to each other?
Ooh.
I forgot what that couple was. It's the
Chris and... Damn, I can't think of the other.
I don't know. It's the fair-skinned woman.
Mm-hmm.
They energy is off to me because they even talked about when they were going to leave each other and then they broke up.
And they had like a little break and things of that sort.
Yeah, but that's their fight that stood up. And I guess he was more so because she seemed like a very alpha type, A type woman. Mm-hmm. This is how I'm going to do it. This is how I'm going to do it because he's on the road a lot. So what she would do would make a lot of household decisions without even kind of going to him. Mm-hmm. And he would hint and say things like, could you let me know when you're doing these things, including me in on it. And she basically be like, bye bitch, I don't got to tell you nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he felt like that led to a point of her being disrespectful to him.
Yeah.
And that was a red flag for me. If you ever in a relationship and you feel disrespected,
and that's the thing.
Problem.
He kept bringing up like respect.
Over and over again.
In the whole in the conversation, that to the point where the producers had asked him something like, "So how did you feel about XYZ?"
Yeah,
and
he said something.
And then the wife cut his ass off.
Yeah.
And it's like, "Well, thank you for letting me know how I feel."
And I was like,
I was like, "Ooh."
Because they asked, and he talked about it, and she's like, "No, that ain't how it is. This is what it is." As soon as she said it, I was like, sis.
Chris Spencer and Vanessa Rodriguez
Spencer.
Yeah.
It was just too they energy. But again, I guess in different energies for different folks. But they energy, if I had to put a bet, because all the marriages end. But they got 9 couples.
Yeah.
1 and 2 in, so it says at least 4 of these couples gonna break up.
Right. And I was
if I had to put money on it in a in a Las Vegas bet to make a quick coin.
Oh my God.
They'll be in the running, honey.
Because when that happened, I looked at Naomi and I was like, baby, I don't think they're going to last this long.
And we both were like, me too. We ain't thinking either. So, we thought that was interesting. I liked how they had the older couple there that was married for almost 44 years. First of all, why he looked 44? That older black man looked 44.
Yeah, he looked super young.
He was, if he just dyed his beard and changed the outfit, he could have easily went for his mid-40s.
Yeah.
So you tell me about that. And they talked about kind of their fight on how it got a little bit more physical and like not with each other, but like, throwing shit and
punching walls and shit like that.
Punching walls and things like that. And then what was another fight? What was Tia Tamera fight about?
The baby.
Oh, the baby. It was a lot of talk about the babies. What's your thoughts on that?
So
it really, and we don't have kids, so we don't have that privilege.
So this is one of the things I was talking to Naomi about before we got on. I was like, babe, I don't have the privilege of having kids yet, so I really don't know how much I can speak on this. But I felt as if a lot of the conversations for episode 2, what was it called, Tripping Over Hurdles, revolved around their kids in some way.
Yes.
And it was like, for me, it was like something happened or something clicked that when they had their kid, like their marriage or relationship stopped being about them and became more about their kids.
Yeah.
And, we was having this conversation, it's like, babe, I don't know if that's going to be the case for us.
Yeah.
And like, just thinking about like the whole different generation of how, being in the early millennials and being dropped off and like your parents were like, all right, go play. And I feel like most of the times, like kids these days, and this might just be a assumption of like what I've have seen, a lot of kids don't get out and interact with other kids or even their cousins or things of that sort. They're mostly interacting like with their parents and things of that sort. Yeah. And I almost feel like that kind of makes the kids soft. But I also
don't say soft. I think it makes the kids lack one, interpersonal skills.
Yes.
But also, I think it takes away from the culture.
Yeah.
So I think that's when we go in this realm, and this is not what we're talking about, where a lot of kids who've been touched by white hands or grew up in white communities, they go visit their cousin in the hood, the island, wherever they from, and they be like, oh, you talk like a white boy. And they be like, you talk white, you do this. It's because the kids hasn't been successfully integrated in what it is to what black culture is.
Yeah.
And I think that happens a lot. I don't think it happens parent to parent, parent to child a lot. I think it happens when the kid is out socializing with other and picking up on those social cues. That's why I think it's important to get out there twofold. Yeah. So for your kid to go out and be with amongst other people, and then also for you and it also benefits so you and your man.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I don't have the privilege to have kids. I'm a woman, I have the right to change my mind. But, the rank could go. It go to Lord, Nyambi, Niram, our children, then the dogs.
Okay.
What?
That makes sense.
What do you think that makes sense?
But I'm gonna keep going to the same critique that I had last time. I think my biggest critique here, looking at these couples.
Yeah.
I think for the most part they're all the same hierarchy or what's the archetype of couples?
A black couple.
A black couple. They're traditional.
Gender roles.
Traditional gender roles. Southern influence type of thing.
Yeah, and even though Tia Tamara said her, and I think her name is Corey,
yeah,
don't believe in gender roles, but when they were talking about the things they were doing, it was very gender role based. She was like, I was off at work and he was watching the baby, but I came home and the house was a mess and this and this. Yeah, because that's what the fuck a man gonna do.
Yeah.
And you came back and cleaned it.
Yeah,
that's a gender role.
That is a gender role.
But go ahead.
So I think that's more or less of my only critique, and just wishing they had
just a different type of voice.
Thank you for cutting me off, baby. But wishing they had a different types of couple, LGBTQ. I would love to if they had a gay couple on there, a lesbian couple, a gay couple, or even a trans couple, to have something like that, or just even different thoughts. And maybe, we was having this conversation with Naomi. She's like, they just don't have a Niram and Naomi up there. It's like, well, maybe that's true. But I just feel like they don't have, when you look at the archetypes of black love and relationships, I kind of lump all the people that they had there all in one thing. What you think?
Yeah, I don't even think it's about the LGBTQ, because you got some LGBTQ people who follow these gender roles, believe it or not. That's a different episode. But I just think it goes back to the intellectual thought processes and different ways of doing things. I think that was it. So it went the couple there. I would say that was my parents who believed in saying, as my mother always tell people like, well, how did you navigate, with Nyambi, y'all being young and you work and you need to go grocery shopping or going out? My mom be like, oh, she ain't go.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the experience I had. It was very clear boundaries. I remember as a child when my parents used to go out and have fun and do I just don't think it was different viewpoints on there where there was no one on that stage I would have courage enough to be like, I love my children, but they don't rule my world. I rule theirs. And I know it's people out there who believe that and put that into action.
Yeah.
And no one on that, everybody, oh, now that I have my child, my world revolves around them. Blah, blah, blah. It was no one who had enough courage to be like, yeah, the world revolves around me. I make sure they eat, sleep, go to school. But the other shit is my world. I make the decisions. And I know it's people who think like that.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes I might tend a little bit on that way with my child, if and when. But I think those little things, those pieces were missing and were different. Or, even the view of, I'm thinking of Tia Tamara, they might be one of the only ones where the woman is the breadwinner. I ain't trying to count his coins. But really, what does that mean? And standing firm on that and saying that I was the breadwinner.
Yeah.
For all these years, he couldn't get a job, didn't want a job, whatever it was, and this is how it navigated. That's what I see as breaking gender roles. Not this idea of 50-50.
True.
Breaking gender roles is completely shaking up what we're used to, or just folks having different viewpoints on it. So I thought that was something good, but I also enjoyed when Fletch and Shanice on there was talking about their house. That touched my spirit.
Man, they got a story.
They the ones. They the ones I was like, y'all really should go down this road. And how strong they were together and how it looked like it brought them closer together. So I think we shared this on the podcast before. They went in complete bankruptcy and foreclosure, and the sheriff department knocked on their house and you got 15 minutes to get up out of here. and they had to gather all their stuff that they could hold in 15 minutes and be out of their home. And even to this day, when Fletcher's talking about, like, he got choked up, like, shit.
Yeah.
We went through this and made it. Not only made it, but bounced back, I'm assuming, better than they did before.
Better, yeah.
So I just thought that was just so inspiring. I'm even thinking of things like, we've been through or going through, and how some couples, those situations make it either make or break them.
Exactly.
So, when you're going through a hard situation with your partner, that you either tighten up in ranks or you grow further apart.
Yeah, you just fall out of pieces.
It grows further apart. And I think what Tia and Tamira said that was really good was this idea that you don't get a baby to bring you close together.
Yeah.
Now, that was a word when she said that. That was a word. Because, I don't know, somebody be like, why y'all having kids? Or, even folks who talk about this idea of having kids and they not even stable.
Exactly.
Like, what the...
Or not even that. Like, or getting married and not even stable.
Yeah. Like, you can barely pay your car note. How you going to pay for Pampers? Like, in what world does that make sense?
Right.
But it's this irrational thought that having a baby is going to fix whatever's going on. And that brings me to my thought, how everyone keeps saying, and I know we have 2 different viewpoints on this, and you can talk about yours, how marriage takes work. I agree, yes and no. You want to go first?
No.
What's your view on it?
I want you to go.
Okay. So when I think of this idea of work, that's what I was going to have you go first, because I kept saying, when people say marriage takes work, first of all, I think it's not just marriage. I think relationships take work, air quotes. Okay. But what do folks define by this? What is that defined as?
And as I was looking at it, what I saw was like you being a separate individual and then combining or intermingling with a different person who may have different views, different upbringings, and things of that sort, and trying to work your way through that to come together on a cohesive basis when it comes to money, friends, loves, sex, and things of that sort. That's more or less what I think what they were talking about, like marriage takes work. Like, and I know how you was having this conversation, like, hell.
But I see as work mean, like, no, I don't think you should leave. Like, but I have this thing that I go back and forth when people like it. When is it too much work? When do you realize, like, you working for something that's not working for you?
Yeah.
And when do you cut it and say, I want to be happy? Because I believe you have to be happy yourself. So this idea of work, I say, I don't understand what's the work you're doing with a couple. How does it look different, Nyambi working in a relationship with Niram than Nyambi working solo without a partner?
Explain more. So
they keep saying relationships take work. So what you just described, that said, if we're going to make our relationship work, we have to put in work, air quotes.
Yeah. So,
but how does that look different with me working in a relationship with you, right? Than me not being in a relationship and still just moving my life forward, just living life. What's the difference? That's what I'm saying. So it's like this idea. Not
in a relationship, yeah.
It doesn't matter if I'm in a relationship or not. I always should be working to be my best self, because that's how you described it to me. So you have to line yourself up to be your best self, to be prepared for your partner to grow and live together. But what's the difference if you don't have a relationship? I'm working to be my best self regardless.
Okay.
Again, I think it just go back to the idea of folks who just put up these big theories and fallacies and mysteries of what it takes to make a relationship work. What it takes to make a relationship work is you to be your best self and bring that to the table. And for the other person to do that. And when the other person not doing that, recognize it and get the fuck on and moving on. I don't mean to be so cut and dry, but it's the same thing with like a house. Like, you hear a lot of people talking about what it is to own a house, and y'all, we don't have these episodes to give y'all tips, but it come down to having good credit and having some money. True. That's the secret. But people gonna say the same thing. It take work to do a house. Yeah. But you need good credit, and you need what?
Money.
That'll get you through everything. Through finding the house, through the application, through the mortgage, to moving into house, to buying the furniture, to when things break and shit. Good credit and money. That's the secret.
But I think that, one of the things.
What take work is running a marathon. That's work. The other shit is living.
I think when they get work, it's like the whole thing of like being your best self. And I think what happens is that they be their best self, and then they get in a relationship, and somebody
unravel.
And somebody unravels, or both of y'all unravel. And I think the work, quote unquote, is trying to get back to being your best self,
But that's not someone else's. I am firm. That is not your that is not your partner's responsibility. They're there to support you and help guide you, but getting you back to being your best person, no one but you and the Lord can do that. So that's why I keep going back to what is the difference? Because so then what happens if you're single and you fall all to pieces? Because it happens. So single people, y'all don't fall to pieces? Who help you? The Lord. I just think we make this thing so much harder than it has to be.
I hear you. I'm just explaining.
It got me riled up.
I know it got you riled up.
As you can see, we different teams on this one.
No, I don't think we're really more or less different teams. I'm just explaining to you.
See, they ain't had nobody on that Black Love dot to be like, I don't think it take work. They're like, what do you think it take, Naam, to live your best life?
To be your best self.
To be your best self.
And I don't have I don't think we're more or less different on that. I'm just trying to put myself in the other person's shoes to explain to you what they mean by quote unquote like it takes works to be in a marriage relationship. Yeah. Because I think we've been together for 12 years. Yes. Longer than some relationships will ever. I mean,
longer than some people in that documentary.
Yeah, marriages will ever be. So for us, like if they ask us like, what do you need? What do you mean by work? Being my best self. Naomi gonna being my best self, and me and my expectation is near him being his best self.
Absolutely. And coming together, because I think that's where a lot of relationships fall apart. But I don't even think that's just in romantic relationships. I have that expectation across the board in all my relationships. So be it my mother, my father, my best friends, all those. I expect you to come as your best self. Colleagues, what I need you to do is come as your best self for our relationship to work.
And I think work or quote unquote works wasn't like the best word to use. What they shouldn't say was, compromise. Relationships take communication and compromise, and maybe. Doing too much communication and compromise can look like work. Yes. But I think that's more or less of what they mean by it. Because I'm like that. I think it takes more compromise and communication than it does work. And I think for some people, communication and compromise is work.
Yes. Because when I think of work, like I said, I think, and shout outs to you, I think of work and running a marathon. Mm-hmm. Do you know?
Yeah. Come on. Tell me more.
Like I think training and being that disciplined in that type of just that I ain't even gonna go down on this road, but this idea of training for something day to day and doing it consistently and putting yourself out there emotionally, physically, spiritually. I don't necessarily know if you do that every day in a relationship, or you can quit whenever you want.
But also the thing is that there's a handbook to run the marathon. You still got to do it, but I don't know if there's necessarily the right handbook to have a marriage or be in a relationship.
I just told you, be your best self.
Be your best self.
That's the book. I'm teasing y'all. I'm starting shit. But you know how I always like to keep it stern.
I know how you like to keep it stern. But I really think like that's something that maybe we need to unpack more.
Yeah, I think we do. I don't think it's enough just for the Black Love segment. But this idea
like
of
how
work.
do we, what is work? And like you say, like physical work for you is running the marathon. How I went, like you was talking about earlier, and like me and Naomi was going back and forth. She's like, how long it took you for your 20-mile run? It's like, it took 8 hours. It's like, I don't think I ever spent 8 hours on doing anything. Great. Like even at work.
Even if PhD.
Even at work. Yeah. Or like you going to your PhD.
It's hard. It's hard to get a PhD too, but it ain't like running a marathon. Like it's a different type of discipline. I think if you run a marathon, you get a PhD. I don't think if you get a PhD, you can run a marathon. I don't think those are interchangeable.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
So I think that's more or less like where people are getting at, or where you think the discrepancy is at, is that you like work. That ain't work. It's communication. Yeah. It's compromising. Yeah.
Like if you think that's work, your best self. Like that's work. What are you talking about? Like it's like first world problems. Get over yourself.
It takes discipline. Like, man, I want to go out here and have sex with other women in here. Well, maybe
you should.
Maybe maybe you need to talk to your woman, your grand architect, and move on from there. Yeah. So I think that's more or less like what they mean, because you can use those principles, and I think they lump everything up into work, whereas this whole umbrella term versus going into
really what I think that's what we go about. Yeah, that's why I think about the dot sometimes. I'm like, well, what do you mean by that? Like you said, let's unpack. What do we mean by work? Yeah. Because I don't know if I would necessarily put that in the category of work. I would say it's relationships are easy, but they're not simple. Absolutely, being in a relationship is easy. Is it simple? No. But it's easy? Yes. Hard work? No. It's what you're willing to sacrifice. Yeah. And what you want. People have to stop.
Communication and what I was saying.
It's harder to run a marathon. What?
Yeah.
You don't think?
Well, as a person who's running a marathon, I can tell you it's damn hard. You hit that wall at 22 miles, and all you want to do is give up.
It's only you.
It's just me out there.
Yeah.
And people cheering and the grand architect.
Pushing you forward in conversations.
Mm-hmm. Communication and compromise.
Yeah. But that's the only thing. I think as we were just seeing and going over it, and y'all know my views are a little bit more eclectic than others. Yeah. And I do believe that folks make some things out harder than it needs to be because they don't want everybody in their club too.
Exactly.
So I think they do it to make it seem like it's this,
hell, elite, even for a PhD.
Society, we ask this trust type thing. And I don't think it's always as hard as that is. As hard as it's putting out there to be. No. So I was a little triggered when it was like, work, like, but damn.
And I think, the last thing I just want to mention is that, Flex has said something that was really dope. It's like, seeing who your real friends are when you're down. Ooh, like, that's how you know when you're real friends. Like, when you actually go through some shit, like some real shit, like none of this fake shit. Like, they don't follow me on Facebook and blah, blah, blah. I'm talking about some real life shit. Yeah. That's when you know who down for you and who not.
Who not. Yeah. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And articulating that and saying it as a couple and how do you navigate within it as a couple. I think that was a good conversation.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Book club. Did you finish first or did you finish?
Yeah, I finished it.
Ain't none but the Lord, finally.
I'm not going to let you keep coming at me like this.
So what's your thoughts?
Should I talk about what happened, what I read, or should I just go right into my thoughts?
We're just going to your thoughts.
It was a good book. It was very interesting. The whole time travel, slave narrative, I didn't think of it that way, but it was dope. I like the idea. I think some of the things that really stood out to me, and I know some of the things that stood out to me, like later in the book as I closed out the last of the chapters is, this motherfucking Rufus. I told you Rufus was problematic from the jump. This nigga is problematic to the point where he wanted to rape Dana, where he wanted to be like, Dana, you the only one that who didn't try to leave me. I want you to be my concubine. And I was like, concubine? They still using that word?
Yes.
Shit.
Yes.
And then Dana ass stabbed him up.
You silly.
She stabbed him up when she tried to rape because, Rufus' ass is like, well, his ass like state property. You can get down and lay down. So you either get down with this rape or you going to lay the fuck down and I'm going to take it.
Oh, Lord.
So I was like, Lord. So going through the book, I really think it was but to wrap everything up in a nice little bow, I like the concept of time travel and the slave narrative. I truthfully didn't think of anything like that. I like how the story laid out on the fact that it was more or less easy to follow. It was more or less easy to follow. And what else? I just like the story overall. Like, it was a dope book.
It's classic. I told you.
What you got on it? What were your thoughts on it?
I mean, it's one of my favorite books. Like, I think it's one of those things. It should be like a reading list, like reading while black, and this should be on the top 10 list. That I think I like the book because I think every time I read it, it comes off differently. So I remember when I was younger and I read it, and I had like a certain takeaway. Like, I was aware of this, like the slavery and all that stuff, but I think I was more infatuated or interested in this idea of time travel and that's cool, science fiction. Then I remember reading it in undergrad, and then that's kind of what I put more of my literal lens on, and literary lens on, and just appreciating kind of the writing of it and how graceful and eloquent the writing was, but still so true to what Black culture was, and seeing that on page and on paper in black and white, like, it gave me like this sense of pride. And it was a poem where I wanted to be a writer, and I thought I was her. And then I think now reading at this age is tying it together to say history, I feel like my grandma sometimes, history just be repeating itself. Like, it's the same shit, different day. So this Kindred book till today, 2017, is still relevant in so many ways. It not connecting to that when I read it before, when I've been younger, and just the overall appreciation of it too. So I think that's what I always get from Kindred. Like, it's creative, it's different, it's well written. Yeah, it definitely has our Black voices in there, and then for it to be a woman and how it's still applicable to today. It's a Nyambi Books Club.
Yeah, it is a Nyambi Book Club.
We'll call it the Wolf Murphy Book. It's a Nyambi Book Club.
It's a Nyambi Book Club. But it was definitely an interesting book. It was an interesting read.
Yeah.
I'm glad you picked that book for me because, like I said, I was going through and like, nigga, what?
Yes.
Rufus did what?
He did. Who?
Or it's like Dana asked, your ass and fucking transformed again.
Did you say transformed?
Like,
transported.
Transported again? Yeah. What the hell are you doing?
Exactly.
So like going through all that, like, and just reading the story and the narrative, like I see how people got hooked on this shit.
Yes.
Just on the fact that how, she leaves, she come back, and like that much time hasn't really changed in like the current time, but a lot has changed during the past. And, I think more or less when it came to it is her just trying to figure out like who her direct ancestor was.
Yeah.
And making sure they ass live on so she can be born. And like this whole thing of like, even like moral, like her morals, like what she had to do to make sure that she lived on. Because like everything that she did, directly affected like her life moving forward.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the announcement.
Oh, speaking to the mic, as you always tell us, everyone there and there. Wait, it looked like you got multiple books. It's just supposed to be one book.
I got 3 books.
No, one book.
I know, but they're also good that I didn't know.
No, one.
Which one to give you.
Okay, well, come on.
So I got 3 books here for Nyambi. Like I said, I'm a personal develop type of person that's always reading personal development books. So I have 3 books for you that I might have you pick. So the first book is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
One of my favorite books. We have Will It Fly? How to Test Your Next Business Idea so you don't waste time and money.
Oh, shit.
And the third book is The One Thing, The Surprisingly Simple Truth Behind Extraordinary Results. So just trying to figure out where you at. I know you wanted to go on this journey of entrepreneurship.
Yes.
And growing and doing things. But I know that sometimes you teeter back and forth. So when I was looking at these books, I was trying to figure out where exactly do Nyambi fit in these 3 books, because I feel like all 3 of these books relates to a different point in a person's life when it comes to like entrepreneurship. So I wanted to ask you, like, I have what I think you have in your head. Like, do you think you are still in the thinking phase? Or are you in the one start phase? Or are you in the doing phase?
I think I'm in the thinking phase.
You in the thinking phase?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, our book, the book that I'm going to have you read then, is called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Oh.
Yeah.
All righty. Thank you.
So
I will give my updates. Do I have a limit on when I need to finish? Or no, you're going to let me be free?
What you give me? I give you 5 weeks.
Okay.
I give you
a month. Okay.
Yeah, I give you 5 weeks.
I'll start week 4.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
I'm teasing
it's
you.
It's not how Nyambi.
I go through books quickly.
But I think it's a good book, and it's a landmark book when it comes to like entrepreneurship and starting your own business and just getting your mind ready for that type of thing, where you're like, all right, I know I want to do some entrepreneurial. I know I want to do some type of art. I know I want to do something other than this 9 to 5 grind, but I don't know necessarily what it's going to be. But, I just want to do something.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. And I'm interested. I don't read a lot of personal or professional development books. Like I read a few of them, kind of the classics, but I'm excited to kind of lean in and start this new journey. So I'll be able to give y'all like my little summaries. Maybe I'll do the way I do mine is not Nyambi's takeaways.
Okay.
And every week I'll let y'all know. And if it's trash, I'm going to tell y'all now.
Okay. Well, yeah. That's something you have.
Shout out Fridays.
Shout out Fridays.
Shout out to y'all. What we got? We got some emails?
Well, first of all,
near them.
We ain't got no Apple. We ain't got no reviews.
We ain't got no
any reviews on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, and or Stitcher.
Maybe people were on vacation.
Do y'all not fuck with us?
Maybe they was on vacation. It's a holiday week. Folks be tired.
Do y'all not fuck with us?
They do fuck with us.
That's all I want to know.
Well, we got some emails.
Do y'all not love us enough to...
Here you go, guilting people.
Do y'all not love and fuck with us enough to go on Apple Podcast app and search for Black Love Matters and then type on the reviews tab and type on write a review and give us a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-star review?
Okay.
We done gave y'all 44 episodes. Oh, and that's all we asking.
Damn, stop it.
That's all we asking.
Damn.
Fuck with us, y'all.
All right. The email says, our first email, the subject reads, my favorite episode yet. And it says, just finished the episode. And while it's on my mind, I wanted to drop a note to say how much I enjoyed it. Nia was a great guest. Lots of good advice from the three of you. Tell Nia if I wasn't a 50-year-old happily married Black woman, I would have included my bio. Loves y'all's Midwest. I'm from Indianapolis. Play on. Thank you. Yes. What you say Nia wanted? What he wanted? The CV and a FICO score?
He wanted a FICO
no
score.
No pictures needed if the FICO score above a certain limit. No pictures needed.
No pictures needed if the FICO score is high.
If the FICO score is high and the CV is right, we can work with everything else. Everything else is negotiable. Mm-hmm. But the FICO and CV is not negotiable.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. We
Thanks
appreciate it.
Did you write a review?
What? Are you talking about me?
I'm talking about our play auntie.
Oh.
I'm trying to see if she left a review on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, or Stitcher.
Can I finish reading these emails, please? Thank you. Then we got another email on the subject
salty,
reads, I'm just that cancer energy. We got another email on the subject reads, Dorothy Height, and it says, listening to episode 45, and y'all talked about me. Is this a Delta? I'm assuming. Dorothy Height, and I just wanted to share with you all that my mother sent me a B-Day card, and the postage stamp was none other than the beautiful Dorothy Hyde. I have a picture, but I couldn't attach it here. Pretty cool. Oh, so she's saying that her mother sent her the stamps. Remember, me and Nia was saying they were sold out.
Oh yeah.
Me and Nia believe in getting like the Black History Month stamps and any Afrocentric African American. We get them all. But I went to my post. He went to his. We was like, it's sold out.
They sold out.
I said the Deltas must have cashed it out, honey. Cashed me out outside. But she says saying she got hers. So shout out to you. Shout out to you.
Did you leave a review? Apple Podcasts.
The next email reads, hey,
iTunes or Stitcher.
The next email reads, hey, Niram and Nyambi, love the show. I'm finishing up episode 41, Intimacy, Shadow, Resentment, and Black Love documentary. I agree with you on the critique on not having more diverse groups of couples representative. I do not know if you saw the article on Essence, the ones with Idris, I think it's August. They interviewed 3 LGBTQ couples. One of the couples is from Dallas. They sent the link. Oh, thank you. Yes, I read through that link. We just have to be more, and I agree with you, Brusses, because we just have to be more representative. We have to show the world and everyone in ourselves that Black love is dynamic. Yeah. The expression of it, it looks, it feels, it's amazing, but it's different too. I think that's the key. We have to continue to pound that into everybody's head. Black love looks very different across the board, but it doesn't mean that it's not Black love.
Exactly.
Oh, I got excited. You said you got a voicemail?
Sis Burkhuss, did you leave a review? Do you fuck with us like that?
Leave these people alone.
Come on, y'all. My feelings are hurt.
I know it is.
Ain't not one review this week.
Okay.
Who are we to y'all?
Did we get a voicemail?
Yes.
Okay, come on.
I'm sad.
I know.
Yes, just got through listening to Black Love's episode 41. Loved it, as always. Listened to all 41 episodes. And Naomi, quit saying, does that make sense? Everything you say makes sense. Keep up the good work.
Oh, shout out to them. I asked if that made sense. I think that's my education background. So in education, for all the educators out there know, we always seek clarity. So after every statement we say, whether I'm teaching or in the meeting, I'm constantly, do you understand what I'm saying? Is it clear? And especially to be a Black woman in higher ed, because y'all know the first thing they'll say is, I didn't understand what you were saying. So that's just a tick that I've got from working in higher ed, to ask people, do they understand what they're saying? And y'all mad y'all can't respond to me, because if you could respond to me, I'm like, well, can you repeat what I just said? Can you articulate to me what I just said?
Does that make sense?
Does that make sense? So I know I'm gonna work on that, but that definitely comes from that education background, learning goals, objectives, making sure everyone is clear, is on the same playing level, and just being touched by white hands. I'm working on that though. Cause he's like, I understand. And sir, what was that noise in the background?
He was listening to the podcast.
Oh,
that was me.
Us?
Yeah.
Oh, it sounded like, when you be sitting in your car in the summer and had a radio in the back.
He was listening to the Black Love Matters.
That's what's up. But thank you so much.
Yeah,
we appreciate
thanks a lot
the
for
love
the email.
And the support so much.
I just want to let y'all know that I'm upset that we ain't getting no reviews this week. Does that make sense, y'all?
Shut up.
I'm upset. I'm sad. I'm deeply saddened.
Well,
fuck with us, y'all.
This was a great episode.
It was. So to submit your Black Love story, go to blacklovematters.com/love story. To submit a question for Kitchen Table Talk, shoot us an email at blacklovematters@gmail.com. Leave a comment anywhere on anything that we talked about. You can go to blacklovematters.com. You know, we got the blog there. You can go to SoundCloud. You can shoot us a voicemail at 508-784-1111. You know, you can do everything. Hit us up. Fuck with us. Please leave us some reviews. That is our lifeblood. And that's all we got for this week, y'all. Remember, love is ever evolving.
Peace.
Peace.